clean up my pulpit here a little bit. Good morning. How's everyone doing this morning? Well, I'd like to welcome you all to Hope Unitarian Church. It's wonderful to see everyone today. I'm the Reverend Justin McCreary, and I'm excited that you're here with us this morning. If you're new to Unitarian Universalism, one of the things I always like to say is that we are covenantal, we're not creedal. That means what we do together is more important than what we individually believe separately. That can be a lot to flesh out, and I'm not going to do that right here, but one of the things I always say is, if you're new to Unitarian Universalism and you'd like to learn more about it, ask every Unitarian Universalist that exists, and you'll probably get a different answer. But I will say that love is the power that holds us together and is at the center of our shared values. Being rooted in love, we believe that all human beings should be created or should be treated with dignity and respect. At Hope, we seek to transform ourselves and the world through community, service, and love. Whoever you are, whomever you love, wherever you are on your spiritual journey, and whatever your life circumstances, you are welcome here today. At this time, I would invite you to rise and embody your spirit as you feel called and sing the hymn of welcome. It is our tradition to begin every service with the lighting of a chalice, and we say these words. We light this beacon of hope, sign of our quest for truth and meaning, in celebration of the life that we share together. You may be seated. This invocation was written by Reverend Dr. David Breeden. Welcome, friends, newcomers, old-timers, seekers, skeptics, saints of habit, and rebels of the heart. Here we gather not because we think the same, but because we choose to journey together. Belonging is not something given, it is something we build with open hands and open hearts. It is made in the sharing of stories, the holding of silences, and the courage to show up as who we are. Here we practice a radical hospitality, not of perfection, but of presence. May we make this place a shelter for the soul, a workshop for justice, a sanctuary where love is not merely spoken but lived, deeply again in trust, in hope, in the spirit of belonging. Let's say our covenant together. Love is the spirit of this church, and service is its law. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek truth in love, and to help one another. At this time, I would invite you to rise and embody your spirit as we sing our first hymn. That's hymn number 10 if you're in your hymnal, Immortal Love. Please rise and Thank you, and you may be seated.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome to Hope. My name is James Donovan. I have a few announcements for you. The first thing I'd like to mention is that finally, after 4 Augusts here, Justin did not go to the emergency room at one of our healthcare institutions. I knew you'd like that, Justin. The 2025 Congregational Survey is still open. Your reflections will help guide our Board of Trustees and the minister in future planning and strengthening our congregational life. The survey closes September 17th, 2025. Most of you have probably gotten an email with a link to the survey, but there's also some hard copies out there by where you got your order of service. So you can take one of those and fill it out, and you can hand it to somebody like me, and I'll make sure it gets to the right place. If you're one of our wonderful Hope volunteers, first, pat yourself on the back. Well, some of you actually did it. And then you need to remember to stick around after the service to have lunch. Now, this lunch is honoring our volunteers, but everyone's welcome. So, yeah, you can all eat. And thanks to our friend Gail Hawk for pulling this all together and doing so much work to get this happening. Next Sunday, we'll have a programs and activities fair before the service at 10 a.m., and during the service, we'll have a water communion. So what you need to do is bring some water. I thought about how much to say to bring, and I'm going to go with 1/4 cup. Because a 1/2 cup is actually a lot of water. So bring 1/4 cup from someplace that maybe is important to you. It could even be just the tap in your kitchen or your bathroom, but, a pond, anything like that. Your dog's water bowl, something like that. A swimming pool, if you're David Land. And we'll make it part of the worship service next Sunday. We need some key people and ushers. Key people, they mostly do stuff early Sunday morning. They make the coffee that we're drinking and that kind of thing, but they also let people in and out of the church during the week if they're having meetings and they don't have anybody coming who has a key. So we need some new key people and ushers. Also, ushers just are here from about 9:45 to noon, doing passing the basket and that sort of thing. So if you are a key person, would like to be a key person, or are interested in learning more about what it means to be a key person, come back to church at 4 p.m. and we'll have a meeting to discuss that. If you're an usher, would like to serve as an usher, or like Cynthia Hefner back there, if you're interested in finding out more about what ushers do, come to the church for a meeting at 4:45. If you're interested in both, just come at 4 and stay the whole time. Many more things are happening around Hope, and to find out about all of them, you need to read your highlights and monthly focus, which our newsletters come in email, and you can read those and find out about what's happening around the church. You need to just send a message to HopeUU at hopeuu.org if you're not on the list. And finally, Anita Ward. This is really off-putting, Justin, that this section is so crooked today. You notice that?
I noticed.
It really is messing with me. And I'm like, whatever the opposite of OCD is, that's me. So Anita Ward wants to remind us to feed the homeless. This is where people from Hope get together and prepare and deliver and serve a meal to the people at the day center for the homeless. That's happening September 20th, and we need volunteers, and there'll be sign up out in the fellowship hall amongst our lunch. Also, she wants us to know that the day center needs men's clothing. The The supply of men's clothing seems to be running kind of low, she says. And there's a basket out there where you can put donations. Guys, leave your clothes on now until after the service, and then you can put them in there. Thank you very much.
We decided today to honor our volunteers. And it was a volunteer who said we should honor our volunteers. But the reason I bring that up is because, as you'll find in a minute, we're all volunteers. The church only works because of volunteers. And we thought that if nothing else, we could feed you, and maybe I thought we could honor you during service. What I'm going to ask is that you stand up in a minute if you do any of the things I'm going to read. And then after you stand up, if you hear another thing that you do, hold up a finger. And then if you hear, and then, well, if you hear another one, hold up another finger. So we're going to count through. And so I'm going to name some things off, and you just stand up if you do that thing. Like sing in the choir.
All right, I'll get up.
Serve on the board of trustees, past and present. Teach and help with children and youth programs. Serve as a committee chair. Serve on a standing or temporary committee. Serve on the AV team. I see them standing in the back. Serve as worship associates. Serve on gardens and grounds. Keep our plants watered. Help with adult forum. Donate Sunday cookies. Set up Sunday cookies. Serve on the Hope Foundation board. Help in the office. Help with facility maintenance or repairs. We're still on the first page. So if you've been help or donate to the annual auction. Serve on the stewardship or pledge drive team. Help with special projects. Volunteer with partners in education including with MacArthur Elementary. Serve as greeters, ushers, march in parades, help set up for events, help clean up after events, and I'm going to go through these a little quicker. Help prep, cook meals for the homeless center, help serve meals at the homeless center, serve at the visitors table, share your talent as a guest musician, hang the greens, serve as leaders for special programs.
Some people are going to be sitting down.
Then care team helpers, women of hope, supper club, lunch bunch, in reach, game night, happy hour, book clubs, aesthetics team. Lead or donate time and items for food events like the chili cook-off, chocolate auction, Stone Soup Sunday, breakfast on the hill, annual auction, annual barbecue, garage sale, trunk or treat, or ice cream social or movie night. Have I left anything off? What I want everyone to do, and this is something I heard many years ago when I was starting in ministry, that 10% of the congregation does 100% of the work or 80% of the work. But I want you to look around. Look at the people holding up fingers. Look at the people holding up hands who maxed out at 10 fingers. It is important that we honor our volunteers because you are all volunteers. Because this church does not function without you. And if you're not standing up yet, don't worry, you'll have time. So I would invite you at this time, we're going to do a litany. We're going to do a call and response and thanks for the volunteers. The way this works, I'm the leader, L, and you are all the congregation, the C. And you say, and so we thank you after every line I say. In the nighttime or daytime, on weekends and events in the coldest, darkest part of the year, you helped.
And so we thank you.
Elected and duly appointed or quietly, anonymously unbidden, you did what needed doing.
And so we thank you.
Sometimes with the help of many hands, and other times you worked alone.
And so we thank you.
You gave your time, talent, and even your treasure for the life of this congregation.
And so we thank you.
Your families and loved ones supported you in your efforts, worried for you when things piled up, and perhaps grumbled at you for the extent of your commitment.
And so we thank your families and loved ones.
For all things great and small you have given this congregation, we take time today to recognize you.
To thank you and to honor you.
That was written by J. Libby, and I invite you to take your seat. But before, let's give all the volunteers a hand.
Hello, I'm Vanessa Self. I'm currently serving as the president on the Hope Board of Trustees, and I'd like to share a special poem with you in honor of each and every one of you who are here today and those who are with us in spirit. The work of hope. No one asks for applause. You arrive early, stay late, make the coffee, set the chairs in a circle so no one sits alone. You carry light in your hands, not the kind that blinds, but the kind that warms. You plant flowers in soil that remembers every touch. You gather the overlooked moments and make them holy. You listen, not to reply, but to understand. You build bridges from silence to song, from need to nourishment, from stranger to friend. You do the work that matters, the quiet kind, the kind that doesn't trend but transforms. You make beauty where there was blankness. You make safety where there was fear. You weave beloved community from the threads of service and the fabric of love. This is legacy. This is love. This is hope with its sleeves rolled up. Thank you.
Listen to the sound of my voice.
Nuremberg, 1927. Unitarian minister James Luther Adams was watching a Nazi parade that would end with a Nazi rally. This was 6 full years before the Nazi Party would take power in Germany. Germans from all around were attending the parade. Thousands of Nazis marched in lockstep to support the Nazi Party. During the rally, James Luther Adams, in the crowd, asked the person standing next to him a question about the meaning of the swastika. I imagine the answer that came back involved nationalistic rhetoric, the purity of the German people, and how to make Germany great again, following the limitations placed by the Treaty of Versailles after World War I. Remember, following World War I, the German democracy was very forward-thinking and very progressive. In prior sermons, I even talked about how open and how progressive the country was towards the LGBTQ community, including trans and non-binary people. But there are more than one kind of person in a country. James Luther Adams was not around those people that day. Adams was in the middle of a rally. While discussing the meaning of the swastika with his neighbor, the debate became heated. Then it happened. He was pulled from the crowd by his elbows and dragged into an alley. Adams says, "I assure you, my palpitation rose quite perceptibly. I was beginning to feel Nazism existentially." He didn't expect what happened. The man who pulled him into the alley said, "You fool. Don't you know in Germany today when you're watching a parade, you either keep your mouth shut or you get your head bashed in?" This man was anti-Nazi and saw the trouble Adams was about to find himself and interceded before anything could happen. The man then invited Adams over for dinner. During dinner, this man, who turned out to be an unemployed trade unionist, talked about not just living in poverty in the area, but how all the organizations around him were slowly bending their necks to the Nazi Party. He said, "I learned also that one organization after the other that refused to bow to the Nazis were being threatened with compulsion. The totalitarian process had begun. Freedom of association was abolished." Following World War I, Swiss theologian Karl Barth said that every conscious German citizen should now participate actively in voluntary associations committed to the task of making democracy work. Adams would go on to say that every totalitarian system rejects the freedom of association. Think I might know what you're saying right now. What does this have to do with volunteer appreciation? Another group of you might be saying, "So are you saying volunteering at the church helps fight totalitarianism?" That would be a leap, wouldn't it? Let me give you some context about where this story from James Luther Adams exists. It is the introduction to a much longer article called "The Indispensable Discipline of Social Responsibility, Voluntary Associations." Adams articulates two kinds of voluntary associations in this article. First, the special interest group, who is judged by their capacity to increase the flow of money to the leaders of certain industrial groups. The second voluntary association promotes general welfare, knowing that the intention of the voluntary association is not for personal gain. The church is a voluntary association. And as UUs, we promote the general welfare of the people. And even in our principles, note that we are committed to the democratic process. We at Hope Unitarian Church are a voluntary organization. You are here because you choose to be. And one of the things churches do, especially progressive churches, is that we build collective power. We are part of a greater community that is working to defend democracy. One of the things I learned about organizing and the importance of organizing is that there are only a few kinds of power: money or collective power through people. Our church helps build collective power with various organizations throughout the city. One of the key features in the book On Tyranny by Timothy Snyder regarding defending democracy involves our commitment and our connection to what Adams calls voluntary associations. He recommends donating to causes, but more than that, he recommends living a life outside of your home and outside of your computer. He even recommends making eye contact and small talk, because in doing so, you begin to find the people that you trust. And he is very clear, you don't do this online. You do this in person.
Kind of online.
Because online communication can be used against you. And I don't just mean by authoritarians. How often have you written an email that was misread to the point it created division between two people? But in being together, we become part of systems that create collective power. And one of the first things that happen in totalitarian regimes is that collective associations and the freedom of associations are diminished. So if you ask the question, does Justin believe volunteering at church helps us defend democracy? Apparently I do. See, I believe the church creates an entry point for people to connect with some larger and to affect with something larger and to affect local and to affect local and even global change. The church is not just a social club. It's not just a place to come and make friends. It is more than that. It is a powerhouse of collective energy that can be directed towards the world outside to create a beloved community. I believe the church is pivotal in the fight for justice and equity. I believe the church is central to personal and communal transformation. I believe a pluralistic church builds bridges with others, becoming a central point for connection for all religious peoples. I believe an interdependent church is better prepared to help build relationships beyond our walls, especially relationships that will affect the web of all creation. I believe the generous church gives of itself and provides a balm for the brokenhearted and a thorn for misdirected power. And most of all, I believe that a church that understands the all-encompassing power of love can stand as a bulwark against the powers and principalities that would do others harm. We are that church. And from the number of people who stood up for volunteer appreciation, I feel like many of you believe that too. You don't have the level of commitment that we have here without a belief in the power to do better and for our world to be better. But we're talking about volunteering, right? Because being part of a church is not about just being here. It's about building relationships, especially those relationships that become important in our lives. Being at church is not just about hearing absolutely phenomenal sermons all the time. I wrote that in caps with 3 exclamation points. Being in a church is not being in a church is not being part of a church. Casper ter Kuile says it this way: membership is down across unions, congregations, and voluntary associations. It seems we're increasingly looking for belonging without membership. I've reflected on this statement for a while, and I came to understand something special about membership and being part of that church. See, I think the best way to build relationships in a congregation is to volunteer. I think the best way to build relationships in a congregation is to volunteer more than having parties, more than having social events, more than doing many other things. I know it's hard when you don't know anyone yet. I know it's hard to put yourself out there, especially when you're new. It's nice to have events where you can sit around tables, play bingo, and eat cupcakes and drink wine, but to really get to know someone is to sit or stand with them shoulder to shoulder, working together. Hope Unitarian Church has a closeness that I am very proud of. It is a congregation full of friends, but when you're new, that can be a difficult place to be. But you know where loose relationships can turn into friendships? Feed the homeless. Halloween party planning committee. Helping out during the rummage sale. Singing in the choir. Being an usher. Helping lead service. Serving on the board. See, I can't tell you how many times in the last 3 years I've gone home after laughing with people during meetings. There's something special about what's being done when we're doing the work, when we're building something together. And I really think that's the best way to make friends and to get connected. When we do work together, we truly get to know one another. I have relationships at this church with people that bring tears to my eyes and joy to my soul. Some of them formed quick over the last 3 years, and some of them took 3 years to build. But in all those cases, it's because we served together, shoulder to shoulder, on the board, planning something. Or hanging out, or hanging the greens during the holiday season, or planning something together. I know it's easier to stay on the periphery, but to make the most out of this opportunity, we must truly be and work together. I thank all the volunteers at Hope Unitarian Church. I thank you for doing the work of building this place together. I thank you for your commitment. Know that there are no small roles here, whether you're taking out the garbage or serving on the board, or doing both. You are part of building the beloved community by working and building relationships. Our voluntary associations are important. Maintaining our voluntary associations come with volunteers. And in the days to come, the unity that we can feel or the unity that we can find with others will come through the collective power that we create in these voluntary associations. So I invite you not just to be a member of this congregation, but to find where you fit in. And volunteering can be selfish. I truly believe that's how you get to know people. What do you think, Jeff? Look, I know it's hard when you don't know everybody. And everybody, I'm telling you this. Don't hound people. It's hard when you don't know everybody. It looked like I was looking at Anita, but I wasn't. But to truly find the love that can come through a congregation means that we're volunteering, because that's where the friendships are made, shoulder to shoulder, doing the work. Thank you, everybody who does that, and thank you to all the people who will do that in the future. Be blessed. One of the ways we help build collective power is through monetary donation at this congregation. Our offertory today, or our generosity recipient for the month of September is New Hope, Oklahoma. And when I was sitting in forum listening to our speaker talk, she used a term that I can't remember. Regarding who the children are. She didn't say the children of incarcerated people.
Justice involved.
She said what?
Children of the. Justice involved.
She said justice-involved children. I love that term because it says so much more than just children of incarcerated people. Because that's not all the justice-involved people. But even if that's the case, the children are innocent in this context. Today's donations, in this month's donations, will go to New Hope, Oklahoma, that works with the justice-involved people, children. If you would like to donate directly to the New Hope, you write your check out to Hope Unitarian Church and put generosity in the memo line, or you just put cash in the basket as it's passed. If you would like at this time to pay your pledge, you're welcome to do that. And you can do that with cash by putting it in the envelope provided before you, or putting nothing in the memo line of your check. But I would invite you at this time to give, because this is one of the ways that we serve justice in our community.
Reach out to me with all of our voices.
Our final hymn will be hymn number 347, Gather the Spirit. I invite you at this time to rise, embody your spirit as you feel called, as we sing together. Let's extinguish the chalice. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. And as we go forth and do the work together, let's give thanks for each other, because we know we don't have to do it alone.